Is the filament already loaded? No.
Pardon? Nope, one of it is, but the other one is not.
Yeah.
They all load the same way. So when you start off, they need initialization. These two, well, all three you can initialize right on this machine. This one is a little bit different. The control is weird. The control is on the side if you go here. It's like a quarter of a circle curve one, and you use this one as a reference. So the top row is single press, second row double press, the bottom is long press. So light to turn light on, well, you usually initialize actually. So initialize is the leftmost one, long press. So on the side here, you find the leftmost button, long press until it registers. You will hear it, and that will initialize the machine. And while that's running, so to load and reload filament, for the small one, you go to material, just retract. It's gonna heat up first. It's gonna take a while, so
Yeah, it's good.
I'm gonna do both at the same time. Oh, and for small one to turn on the light, is the button on the side. Press once.
Okay.
One of them have a broken LED strip, so probably won't light all the way up.
Oh. Oh, that's true. We have multiple 3D printers.
Yep.
So we can do multiple prints at one time.
Yep.
Yay.
So for the small one, to make it easier, you probably want to lift this one to see the actual extruder.
Okay.
Just wait, I guess.
So yeah, this will retract, right?
Pardon?
That will retract when it's done?
Yeah. Spitting it out, you just slightly tug on it until you got release all the way. Just pull it out. And that's a recycled paper. Color one. So make sure you go through this plate. And on top here, you just have to feed in the. You have to feed in a slight angle going this way. And make sure you press extrude. And while it's extruding, if you plug in correctly, you will feel it start tugging on the filament.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The print or the heat bed we use is a little bit different. It's actually, we have perforated plates. So this are supposed to work by having extruder extrude more material in the first layer, which usually you will want to wrap because of this. The material will get oozing to the hole and just grab everything together. Because it's ABS, it works quite a lot.
Oh.
So we do have flat plate, but it doesn't grab as well as this. And this seems to
Okay.
be the most worry-free one.
Nice.
For the small printer, it just slots it, so you just pull it from the back, take it out, and after print, always take out the plate before you try to pry the thing on. Pry the print off, otherwise this breaks easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
But after print, take the plate off.
Yeah, break the entire plate with a
take
print.
the plate. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to try to pry it off.
Yeah, because it'll break.
It's quite fragile.
Okay.
Yeah, the big one use the same principle as well, but the way place goes in a little bit different. If I take this one out, so we can see. So you can see a few screw, actually quite a few screw hang extrude a little bit more. So it will work a little bit like hooking.
Right.
How do I say?
Place it on the screw and then.
Yep, you need to press on a little bit on the four corner and just push it. Okay. And after you're pushing, go to the side. Make sure it's flush to the bottom. Because sometimes if you miss one screw, it's gonna
won't be flat.
Yeah, it won't be flat. Yeah, that's it for this. Do it, but if you want to zero the plate, let's use this one because it's got lights in here. It got auto Z leveling in there, but make sure you clip or clean the tip of the nozzle really well, otherwise it's gonna interfere with it. It worked by lowering the nozzle onto the metal piece back there, which triggered the Z high switch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Same goes for the big one as well.
Okay, go ahead.
For the small one, after you extrude the material, you want to go back to the main page, otherwise the computer side won't register.
Okay.
Yeah, anything controlling on the smaller printer will stop the computer program to change anything. So, and for the computer side of it, we use their proprietary called Op Studio. So generally what you do is you go to Op. This is the actual print setting and STL loading page. You go to the top left and let it run a little bit after clicking on it. It will show the printer that's available. Because this is a new account, I probably didn't add the small one. Yep. This. Okay. So go to the top left, click on the down pointing triangle, wait a little bit. For the support one, let's use the first one. So it's gonna take a while. I'll probably end up just connecting the cables because right now it's running off Wi-Fi. So we'll show here, as soon as it's connected, you will see the actual reading on the bed temperature and the print head temperature. So after that, what you need to do is just drag your STL and then move it onto the bed. Oh, that's perfect size. So there's a few things you can change or adjust the STL5. It's all on this wheel. So this autoplay basically just play the print to where you want it. Flip sort of work like mirror. This is changing the views here. This is rotate. The one that's selected will show up in light gray. The rest is black. You can right click to select all, cancel or delete all, that kind of stuff. Basic control. So this is rotate, this is move. So if you encounter some of the weird STL file that actually showed up randomly on a print plate, what you can do is use here. So under move, if you go to the center one, drop to printed bed, it will drop the print to the printed bed. If okay, let me show you. It's out of the bed range right now. So okay. So if it's actually off the bed but in the print area, drop to bed, it will automatically drop to the lowest point at the bottom to the bed. There's one more thing you can do if you are encountering with a really weird shape. So in this case, let's just rotate it so I can demonstrate. So let's say your STL load like this, which is a really weird angle. If you go to rotate, same thing, center one, it's called rotate face to bottom. It will let you choose a face. It will try to parallel that with the bottom. And then just drop it onto the print plate. This way we'll print it from there. And just press confirm when it's done. And in this case, let's move this away from that a little bit. And most of the time you probably don't need it, but calibration, bed leveling, you don't have to do it. The small one is pretty accurate. The large one have an auto bed leveling, but as long as nobody changed the bed screw, it shouldn't change. Nozzle detect is what I said earlier, where it actually detects the nozzle properly. We'll do it on the other printer because this one doesn't have a lights in there.
Okay.
Or we can actually, you know what? Let's change it to a Mini 2. Oh, actually, okay. Disconnect the current connector printer. This is new.
It's okay, we can do it later.
Huh? Oh, just gonna go out. Alright. Is if you have USB connection. Oop. Yeah, I'm gonna hook all this up to the USB. Wi-Fi is not fast enough. Alright, so disconnect, you press the top left and wait for a little bit. Come on, anytime now. Okay, so to disconnect, press this circle with the check marking there. It will disconnect the current printer, and then you can choose a new printer. Okay, so let's back to this. So under calibration, well, disconnect again. Alright, so calibration, the only thing you'll probably need to change every time is nozzle detect. Pretty much clean the nozzle, press it, you will see the nozzle move to position. Wait. Oh, how did I have those two?
Oh, whatever. I can still see it good.
Yeah, we probably have to redo this again because you see there's like a filament just on the tip of the nozzle, which most of the time will be a problem.
Okay.
Confirm. The bottom one, maintenance, is where you pick the material. For list 3 printer, always keeping ABS plus. You won't have to change anything. Nozzle diameter always 0.4. Preheat, we set it to 15 minutes. You can take it out later if you don't want to preheat. For print board, it's always perforated board. There's a flat board, but it works pretty bad, so I didn't include that for member to use. You can control the filament extrude and withdraw and stopping here. Other than that, this is where you want to print. So layer thickness, we generally keep at 0.2. 0.15 will work, but the raft and the support become a little bit harder to take off. And you can increase it to decrease the print time. But generally we keep it 0.2. And the infill, the only downside for this machine is the infill is fixed and only have one pattern.
Oh.
So only have a diagonal checkerboard pattern, and you can only choose a few settings. So for this, we can I think 15 will be enough. And quality, normal. Actually, the fine and fast doesn't make that much big of difference. So unless you really want to tweak or try something out, just keep it normal. Nozzle offset, we never use it because there's an auto Z height action. On solid model, keep it checked. It will try to repair model that's not properly solid or have a hole in there. I haven't encountered a problem, it didn't fix it properly, but I always check my file before I send it in. So here, no raft, no support. Raft, 100% of the time you want to keep it on unless you are doing some weird stuff. Support depends on what you do. If you don't want to support, just check it. But in this case, list 2 file requires support, so I will keep it. And under the print, there's an advanced print. This is safe into the slot in the printer. So if you are doing a repeated print, you want to keep printing, you can save into the slot. Only for a small machine, the big one doesn't have it. The small machine have 10 slots in there, you can counts back unless nobody replace it. So that comes in handy when just doing small prints on continuously. And beside the close, this one, the forward button, if you click it, there's a few more settings you can change. The surface is how many layer the outside shell you want. Threshold angle, this is for Actually, not sure what. Oh, top bottom threshold length. I have to double check what this means. But support roof density is the top layer. You can increase this if your top is overhang or a bridge. Increase this to make it a little bit more flat. Threshold angle for support is any angle that's bigger than this, we're throwing a support.
Okay.
Minimal surface area and spacing, we normally just keep like this. Don't ever have to use it. Stable support. The chance of you using this is pretty low. This only work by the support for this is almost like a line going as back and forth. The stable support will add structure in the middle, which make it more stable, but also make it harder to remove. So unless you're doing a really tall vase and then there's a support on the top that's required, otherwise you don't have to turn this off. And other option, thin wall work as a vase mold. It's not the best vase mold ever because it doesn't give you a button for some reason. Easy to peel. If you have a one that requires a lot of support, like the one we have there, you want to turn it on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Preheat is what I say. If you turn on preheat, it will preheat the machine for the amount of time that we show. So in this case, we probably want it because we have a really long piece, which when it actually shrink, it will bolt up and pull off the bed. Yeah, I'll turn it on. Since the other print will probably take longer. Sleep means when it's finished, the machine goes into sleep mode. You can keep it on, keep it off, doesn't matter. It will turn off the lights as well, so you might forget about it. Extrusion width, as long as you are using the standard 0.4 nozzle, keep it 0.5. And that's it. Oh, actually, one more thing you can do when you are doing something support heavy is here. Nope, it's on the other side. If you clip the top of right of the wheel, it goes to more. It'll show you more stuff. I'm trying to find a support setting. It's gonna ask me to do the support first. So no support. Let's do preview. We'll generate the support and let you see how it goes. So the blue thing you see is the normal print. Yellow is the support and the raft, and the green one is the top layer. So for this case, the support seems to be pretty fine actually. You can use this to change how many layer or which layer we want to check out. Just remove it and just double check everything is there. Or if you only want to see single layer, remove from the top one until they meet. In this case, by doing that, you will only see one layer at a time. Contour view, just take out all the support and the raft, let you see what the print actually looks like. If you go easy support, let's see, let me choose the support now. Yep, as long as you do a preview, you can start editing the support manually. Let's do a small one as a sample. So going to support editor, it will label all the support in different IDs. So you can manually turn off one of the support. So in this case, number 1 is the one we selected. Number 1 is actually the one up here. Wait, actually number 1 is the bottom one. Blue is the one that's selected, sorry, my bad. So number 1 is actually the support for the raft, which you will never want to turn off. Otherwise the raft becomes useless and the print just falls onto it for no reason. And for this case, you can turn, for like I'm doing support 2, you can manually turn it off. The support will get turned off. What this place allow you to do, not just this, it can change sinkhole support size. So you can change the minimal surface area required to do a support if you have like a really fine print. And threshold angle, you can change it if you are on like a curve one that's in a really weird one. Like mostly organic shape, you want to turn on support as much as possible so the surface becomes uniform. Roof density, like I say, is just the top of the support. This is not the actual print density, it's actually the support's roof density. You want to keep it at 3 minimum, otherwise it might peel off breaking, which will be a hassle to clean.
Okay.
So just keep it thick. You can see the actual support here. And you can actually, I'll show you later with a more complicated one. Let's see if that one will work. Well, it's all here. Yeah, pretty much. I think they take it out because the generation is a lot better now. You used to be able to just pick the point you want to do a support. But yeah, right now it's all labeled in here. In this case, some of this you might want to turn off support. For example, the letters. If you see here, you probably want to turn it off. That's number 8 actually. Oh, the one that's pre-turned off is the one with a curve in there. I was smart enough to detect that now. So if it detects if it's a curve or a semicircle, it will turn it off because it's supposed to be enough for itself to support, as a support. For this 5, we can probably turn it off as well since it's a proper bridge. That's it. The rest we'll keep it on. Actually, I'm wondering what's the 0.1? Oh, is how big are they between? Let's check what does that mean. For this is a this is a clearance one. So clearance, nothing to do with overhang, so we want to keep all the support there. Okay. Now this is a really weird clearance test. Usually the clearance test is like horizontal XY clearance, not a Z clearance. This is a bit unusual. Give it a shot. So after that, confirm. So after you change the support manually, you cannot alter the model, otherwise you have to double check because it sometimes changes back. Other than that, just go back to print, make sure everything's in place and press print.
Okay.
Alright, so under the maintenance tab, go to material type, customize, and go to edit. Ignore that. So when this is open, you go to the top left, click whichever is closer to yours. So in case you're doing one PLA plus, it will copy one of this. In here you can change the name, print temperature, print bed temperature, filament diameter, density, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And after that, make sure you save. And if you're using it in the future again, export, so you can keep a copy for yourself.
And that's if we're using this printer over here.
Yeah.
So this is the only one that doesn't do, or that has a filament other than ABS.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.